Previously, Valrizian drew the Fates card from the deck of many things and was given the chance to rewrite history. Literally. The moment he chose to undo was when Derek was caught by the Praetors the night before, and the group lost the element of surprise. Time unraveled around them, and it was suddenly the previous evening. A very confused Pesh was filled in on why the group was suddenly insistent that Derek not go do his rounds that night. He was a little skeptical, considering the claims being made, but he also believed them, as terrifying as it was to do so. The group made plans on how to adjust things the next day to make the attack on their own terms instead of simply reacting to what the Praetors were doing. They decided that they would make sure Vitalia joined them much sooner, as banishing as many Praetors as possible was their biggest priority, since it was the only thing that seemed to have worked. Rylid did just a bit of alchemy before trancing, making an oil for Yuri to use on his weapon that would hopefully help ground some of the Praetors. Sean also used scrying to look in on the cell in the garrison from the previous timeline, just to be sure Fate didn't have a sense of humor. And by Fate, I mean the DM. And then they went to sleep. The next morning, the group's actions went just as before, but on the group's terms, as the Praetors weren't expecting anything this time around. They all moved into position, making sure Envara and her Praetors were further away than previously. The group was therefore all able to come together and be ready when the explosions happened, and the Praetors were drawn into the fight. Tornak also had time to cast Fly on Tharizian and Yuri in addition to himself and Tarya this time around. It was clear that Envara wasn't expecting them to be prepared for her, and the group managed to catch her by surprise. That made all the difference. Between Sean and Vitalia, they were able to banish all of the Red Cloak Praetors, at least temporarily. Some of them did pop back when Sean took a heavy hit, but it bought the group enough time to whittle Envara down when they only had her to worry about. She also didn't have a chance to put up her anti-magic cone, which played a bit of a role as well. Vitalia was able to take Envara down with a magic missile, the first spell she'd ever learned. Then the group started to focus on the Praetors who'd returned when Sean lost concentration, taking them down before the ones Vitalia sent away came back. Then they took them down as well. It was a resounding success. Tarya picked up Envara's body and flew up in the air, making sure that everyone in the city could see that she was dead. Then she dropped the body and went to join her father. Rylid used magic to catch the body before it slammed to the ground so the group could properly loot it. Tarya and her father climbed the stairs to the top of the tower, where in the previous timeline he'd shot a cannon to try to save the group. At the top, they pulled down the banner of the Empire and replaced it with the flag of the Farview City Guard. All over the city, the fighting was drawing to a close as Praetors fell to the ground. Farview was a free city again, at least for the time being. And that is where we left off.